Growing up in the Clark household was like starring in a show you didn't audition for and definitely didn't get top billing in. My sister, Sabrina, was the lead actress, the director, and the writer. I, meanwhile, was the lighting guy nobody thanked. If she won a middle school spelling bee, champagne. If I made the honor roll, oh, you did too, huh? I'm Josh, 29 now, and for most of my life, my parents, particularly my mother, made it clear Sabrina was the sun, and the rest of us were just lucky to orbit her without spontaneous combustion. It wasn't always this bad. There were golden years, I guess, back when we were kids and Sabrina still shared her Halloween candy and didn't make everything about herself. But puberty hit her like a spotlight, and she never came down. She was prom queen, class president, president of the Save the Turtles Club, and, of course, the apple of mom and dad's increasingly blind eyes. Me? I like quiet. I like fixing things. I built my first website at 13, fixed our neighbor's busted Xbox at 14, and by 16, I was running a modest side hustle building wedding websites for local couples too overwhelmed to figure out Wix. Nobody in the family really noticed. Except Grandma Carol, bless her, who called me my little techie and always snuck me extra brownies at Thanksgiving. After college, I skipped the parties and moved to a small apartment over a garage, working freelance tech support and web design for small businesses. Sabrina, meanwhile, had a destination engagement. Yes, that's a thing, in Greece. 3 proposals, 4 photographers, and an Instagram deal later. She was a full-blown lifestyle influencer with a following of 117K. And that's how we arrive at the fateful moment. It was early April when I got the call. Josh, honey, Mom said, we have the most exciting news. Sabrina set the wedding date. October 21st. It's going to be magical. Great, I said, genuinely happy for once. What can I do to help? Want me to make a website or help with music or... Oh, She paused, and I heard Sabrina laughing in the background. Actually, you're not on the guest list. My silence stretched long enough that she nervously added, it's not personal, sweetheart. Sabrina's keeping it very curated. She wants intimate. You know, minimal drama, minimal distractions. Distractions? I'm your son, I said. Her brother. Yes, and it's her special day, Josh. It's not about you, she said in the tone of someone explaining why you don't get to be mad when you stub your toe. I think I actually laughed. Not bitter, just stunned. So, I'm not invited to my own sister's wedding? She just doesn't want to stress, she said. Can't you understand that? And that was it. No invite. No +1. Not even a request to DJ or haul chairs. The woman I used to share Lego with now deemed me unworthy of witnessing her third-tier YouTube wedding. For a week, I moped. Then I got angry. And then, after I downed 3 beers and rage-scrolled through wedding memes, I had a different thought. I remembered the name of the venue she'd raved about 6 months ago. A picturesque vineyard an hour out of town, perched on a hilltop with views that made Instagram filters cry. So I called them. Hi, I said. I'm interested in booking your vineyard for an October event. Any chance October 21st is still open? There was a pause. Well, actually, there was a cancellation just today. I grinned so hard my cheeks hurt. I'll take it. She laughed. You don't want to know the price? I'll take it, I repeated. The next day, I signed the contract and wired the deposit. I didn't even know what I was going to do with it yet. A party? A corporate retreat? A solo picnic out of spite? All I knew was, Sabrina didn't know I'd just bought her dream wedding venue. And when she found out, oh, that day was going to be special. I didn't tell anyone I had booked the venue. Not yet. Instead, I sat with it. Savored it. Like a bottle of aged wine. Fitting, considering I now technically had a vineyard for a day. The wedding planning machine on Sabrina's end kept chugging. I knew because Mom couldn't help calling me to brag about every detail. They found the perfect florist. Peonies and baby's breath. Isn't that just so Sabrina? MHM. And she might walk into a live harpist. Can you imagine? Yep. Every call ended with some version of, wish you could be there, sweetie, but we totally understand why you can't. Like I had RSVP'd no to my own family. Meanwhile, I did my own planning. I didn't want to waste the venue. It was beautiful, expensive, and came with a full staff and a gourmet kitchen. So I turned to my group chat with my college buddies and typed, Yo, I have a vineyard on October 21st. Fully booked. Staff, food, open bar. Want to help me throw the most unnecessary but glorious event of the year? Responses flooded in like I'd just invited them to heaven. Karaoke in a vineyard? You mad genius. Tell me we can wear tuxedos and Crocs. Do you need a fire juggler? I know a guy. Within 3 hours, we'd upgraded from unnecessary hangout to black tie chaotic gala. We called it the Unwedding. Theme, celebration of everything that isn't about Sabrina. I got shirts printed with Second Born's Revenge Tour. Meanwhile, I still hadn't told my family. But the universe? Oh, she couldn't wait. One morning, while getting coffee at Bean Rush, a very excitable barista looked at my name on the cup and chirped, "Clark? Like the guy who rented Foxberry Vineyard for the 21st? I blinked. How do you know that? She grinned. My cousin works catering there. Apparently, the original bride freaked out because someone else snatched the date. She cried so hard. The chef had to make her a complimentary souffle. That's when I knew. Sabrina had just found out. That evening, the family group chat, once dormant and mostly used for sharing pictures of deviled eggs and failed memes, lit up like a Christmas tree. MOM, 9:12 p.m. Josh. Did you do something to hurt your sister? Dad, 9:13 p.m. Son. Tell me this is a coincidence. Sabrina, 9:14 p.m. Are you serious? You stole my venue? I took a long, slow sip of ginger ale and typed calmly. Oh, I didn't realize that was your day. Mom said it wasn't about me. The typing dots on Sabrina's message box pulsed, and disappeared, then pulsed again. Sabrina, you are so petty. MOM, this is not okay. We have to talk. Dad, this is deeply immature, Josh. I waited 5 seconds, then replied, look, I booked a beautiful place for a celebration. No one invited me to anything, remember? Just wanted to celebrate me. The chat went silent. I smiled. Not smug, not evil, just satisfied. For once, they were scrambling, and I wasn't the distraction. I was the headline, and we hadn't even gotten to the party yet. I didn't set out to go viral. I just wanted to throw a classy, slightly petty gathering that happened to fall on the exact day my family was at a loss for wedding real estate. But my buddy CJ had other plans. CJ's a video editor, the kind who can turn a dog sneezing into a cinematic masterpiece. He showed up to our planning session with a full storyboard, a drone rental quote, and a glittery notebook labeled Petty Party Production Plan. You're gonna be a legend, he said, cracking open the notebook like it contained state secrets. And legends have trailers. I laughed. Trailers? For a party? Not just a party. A reclamation of narrative, he said, like a TED Talk speaker with a Red Bull problem. Within 48 hours, CJ had produced a 45-second teaser that he posted to TikTok and Instagram. It featured slow-mo vineyard footage, dramatic music, and the words, "When your family says the day isn't about you, so you buy the day." Hashtag Unwedding 2025, hashtag Petty Royalty, hashtag Plot Twist Energy. It exploded. Like, actually exploded. I woke up to 12,000 likes for 1,000 shares and a DM from someone asking if they could rent merch for their own family sabotage party. A guy from Utah commented, "This is the kind of drama Jane Austen would have written if she had Wi-Fi." Someone else said, "Your sister's wedding just became the side quest. You're the main storyline now." Even the Foxberry Vineyard Instagram reposted it with the caption, "We can't wait to host this storybook-worthy celebration." By that point, I was locked in. We added a live jazz band, a food truck lineup curated by my favorite hole-in-the-wall restaurants, a build-your-own tiramisu bar, and a glitter cannon for reasons no one fully understood but everyone agreed on. And still, part of me felt weird. Not regret, just complicated. Because as hilarious and empowering as this was, it also came from a place that stung more than I wanted to admit. My own mom had looked me in the face and said, "It's her day, not yours." Like I didn't matter. Like my presence wasn't even worth a folding chair and a napkin-wrapped dinner roll. That wasn't just wedding politics. That was years of being second. Always second. The afterthought. The spare. I remembered when I broke my wrist at 17. Sabrina had a dance recital the same day, and Mom said, "We'll swing by urgent care after we watch your sister." You're tough, Josh. I remembered when I won a statewide coding competition, and they posted Sabrina's engagement photos instead. This wasn't revenge. It was reclamation. It was me telling the universe, and my family, that I wasn't the side character anymore. So yeah, I leaned in. The unwedding got RSVPs from friends, co-workers, two of my high school teachers, and even my old neighbor Sharon, who brought a homemade peach cobbler in case the caterers forgot dessert with soul. I hired a calligrapher to write everyone's name on black and gold cards. Everyone except 3 people. You can probably guess who. But that's the thing about family. Even when they hurt you, there's a corner of your heart that still hopes they'll show up, that they'll see you, that they'll realize what they've done and try to make it right. Spoiler, that's not what happened. Instead, Mom called. Not to apologize. Oh no, but to beg. Josh, sweetie, the backup venue canceled. Sabrina is devastated. Would you consider sharing the space? I blinked. You want to share the venue you said wasn't about me? It's about Sabrina's day. I took a long pause, then said, that's the problem. It always is. And I hung up. I knew the exact moment Sabrina found out she wasn't getting the venue back. It was 9:42 a.m. on October 21st. I was standing at the edge of the vineyard lawn, watching the setup team hang golden fairy lights around the pergola, when I heard tires screech on gravel. A white Range Rover pulled up like it was a getaway scene from a reality show. And out stepped Sabrina. I didn't need to see her face to know she was about 3 seconds from screaming at the sky like a Disney villain who just got denied a castle. She was wearing what I assumed was her backup dress, still designer, still flawless, but the look in her eyes said she wanted to throw it in a bonfire. Are you out of your mind? She barked, stomping across the lawn like a stilettoed hurricane. You stole my wedding. I sipped my mimosa. Good morning to you, too. You can't just hijack someone's date. And venue. Do you know how many followers I told I'd be posting here today? Actually, yeah. I saw your countdown to the big day reel. It was dramatic. She blinked like I'd slapped her with a cactus. This isn't funny, Josh. Didn't say it was. Behind her, Mom emerged from the SUV, looking like she'd aged a decade overnight. Her phone was in her hand, screen cracked, probably thrown during round 1 of Sabrina's meltdown. Josh, Mom said, breathless. Please, let's talk. We can figure this out. No, I said simply. You figured things out without me. Remember? Sabrina's voice cut through. Why are people arriving? Who are all these people? They're my guests. For my party. She turned and saw the big wooden sign near the welcome table. Elegant white letters on black stained wood. Welcome to the unwedding. Celebrating joy, peace, and petty comebacks. Sabrina shrieked like a kettle left too long on a stove. You made a whole event just to ruin me. I raised an eyebrow. Ruining you would require effort. This was just about reclaiming space. A little catharsis. A glitter cannon. That's it. Her jaw dropped. Glitter cannon. Right on cue, CJ, wearing a gold tuxedo with LED lapels, walked out holding a megaphone and grinned at me. You ready for the opening ceremony? Your pettiness? I grinned back. Do it. With a dramatic flourish, he pressed the button. Boom. A fountain of gold glitter exploded behind us as a quartet played a jazzy version of You Don't Own Me. It was a thing of beauty. Sabrina gawked, lips twitching, eyes wild. She looked like she was going to self-combust, like the Wi-Fi had gone out mid-live stream. Then she did something very on-brand. She pulled out her phone and started recording. This, she seethed into her camera, is what happens when jealous siblings try to ruin your life. But I won't let it. I'm still getting married today. Somewhere. Somehow. She dramatically turned and marched back to the car. Come on, Mom. But Mom didn't move. She just stood there, watching the crowd mingle and laugh and clink champagne glasses. After a beat, she whispered, It's beautiful. Sabrina froze. What? I said, it's beautiful, Mom repeated, eyes misty. And, Josh, this is the first time I've seen you smile like this in years. I wasn't sure how to respond. But the moment was broken when Sabrina growled, You're both insane. Got in the car, slammed the door, and peeled out like she'd just lost on The Bachelor. The dust settled. Mom turned back to me. She'll be fine. Will she? Mom hesitated. Maybe not today, but someday. I didn't answer. I just offered her a drink. She took it. And that, right there, might have been the biggest plot twist of the day. You'd think after that kind of emotional showdown, I'd be too rattled to enjoy my own party. You'd be wrong. Because when I tell you the unwedding delivered, I mean it delivered. By 1 p.m., the place looked like something off a Netflix original. Jazz trio under a blooming oak, rows of gourmet tacos being plated like fine art, and a dance floor that someone, CJ, obviously, had bedazzled with the words, Petty. but make it classy. My guest showed up ready. Black tie, statement sneakers, champagne energy. And there was something so beautifully ironic about how stress-free it was. No speeches, no bouquet toss, no in-laws bickering over flower arrangements. Just people vibing and laughing and hugging me. Not for show, not for optics, just because they wanted to. I was making the rounds with a glass of Prosecco when I spotted someone unexpected sitting quietly at one of the side tables near the vineyard fence. Mom, still there, still sipping the drink I handed her hours earlier. Alone now, and for once, not trying to fix things. I walked over slowly, not because I was nervous, but because I wanted to mean it. Didn't think you'd stay, I said, sitting down across from her. She didn't look at me, just stared out at the party. I didn't either. The music floated softly from the lawn, some acoustic cover of Sweet Disposition, while Mom toyed with the edge of her glass. I'm sorry, Josh. The words dropped so quietly I almost missed them, but they hit like a thunderclap. I blinked. What? I said I'm sorry, she repeated. Not for today, not just for today, for all of it. She finally looked up at me. Her face, normally perfect, polished, layered in kindness, but laced with blind spots, was raw. You were always the easy one, the quiet one, the one we didn't worry about. I snorted. You mean the one you ignored? She winced. Yeah, that too. We sat there, wind rustling the vineyard vines behind us, both of us staring at a reality neither of us had ever acknowledged before. You know, I wasn't trying to ruin Sabrina's day, I said after a while. I just needed something that was mine. Not because she wasn't invited, but because I never really was. Mom nodded slowly. She's always needed extra. You never did. And I thought that meant you didn't need anything. I did, I said. Just not what you thought. Silence. Then, I don't expect forgiveness, she said. But I do want to try. That hit me harder than I expected. So I nodded. Just once. Start here, I said. Dance floor's open. She blinked. I stood, held out my hand, and watched my mother. The woman who told me this wasn't my day, walk with me under the twinkle lights and start to sway awkwardly to some moody remix of Take On Me. She laughed. I laughed. She stepped on my foot. But we kept dancing. And for the first time, she wasn't looking past me. She was seeing me. Across the lawn, CJ caught it on camera. And for once, I didn't mind. I was no longer background noise. I was the headline. The unwedding rap just after midnight. The final song was Don't Stop Me Now, which, yes, was very on the nose. But as the last confetti fell and people hugged their way to the shuttles, I stood at the edge of the vineyard one last time and just breathed. It was quiet. No drama. No screaming. No sibling spotlight showdowns. Just me, the moon, and a glitter cannon that, according to CJ, technically violated 3 minor fire codes. And yet, for the first time in a long time, I wasn't replaying anyone else's version of who I was. I wasn't the spare. I wasn't the quiet one. I wasn't the good son by default. I was the guy who threw a better party than his sister's entire wedding empire. But more than that, I was finally someone I liked. The fallout? Well, Sabrina did manage to book another venue, a local golf club with less vineyard chic and more divorced dad energy. She got married a week later, invited 40% fewer people, and deleted 3 Instagram stories after someone commented, "Looks like your brother's party was better." We haven't spoken since. But Mom? She's been trying. It's awkward. Clunky. Sometimes she overcorrects and sends me 5 texts a day asking about my mental well-being and hydration habits. But it's something. She even joined the group chat with my friends. Her contact name is now Petty Party Mom. And Dad? He's still pretending the whole thing didn't happen, which honestly feels like growth in its own weird way. As for me, I didn't keep the vineyard. But I did keep the glitter cannon. It's in my garage, just in case. Because life has a way of handing you roles you never auditioned for. And sometimes, the best thing you can do is rewrite the script.